Okay, so let's begin. So, Chapanakopama Sutta, what we took yesterday. So, now the question comes, how do we do the sense restraint? Now, the first question is that when a woman comes, what will you do in front? And the answer is don't see. What is seeing? Seeing in terms of features. So, what if I don't see the features and I only look at this portion, mouth and the teeth, and maximum the eyes, because I need to have eye to eye contact and then the mouth and the teeth. If I were to have a sati, that is mindfulness, that I am seeing only these two, eyes and the lips and the teeth, or the mouth and the teeth, then the other part of the body is not, eyes don't go shopping onto the other part of the body. Yes, Aryu.
For an anagami, whether it sees or not see, does it make any mental difference at all?
It doesn't, but it makes a physical difference.
Oh, I thought the physical is the mind influence the physical.
Yes, but then there is physiological. So, what I was having the knowledge is correct, that the mind influences the body and the body does not influence the mind. So, if you don't want something to be produced in the body more than what is required, then you need to restrain the body as well. Meaning, you need to eat less and you need to eat those food stuff which doesn't increase the, let's say, semen production, because that much is not required. Because I don't have any mental urge, but that doesn't mean that the physical problem would not be there. If I don't want the physical problem to come, I should eat less. Right? Now, at a physical level, it's designed to create or produce semen, the physical level. So when I see something else other than that, even though the thoughts are not coming in a way which is transforming it to produce more and more, but by the very nature of it, it starts producing. Maybe little, but each one of those little trickles would then create a disturbance, because you are no longer copulating, or in my case, I'm no longer copulating, or I'm not using. So when I'm not using it, there's no point in producing it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering, why does it become an issue only recently? Is it because we're having too many discussions on those things?
No, no,
Like,
no, no. It is not today's. It is an accumulation. So it's not that it just happened a few days ago, right? It's an accumulation of 4 5 years, let's say.
oh, so it takes 4 or 5 years of
I
that
have
little
no
trickle.
idea now, that I don't know, Aryu. So you are asking me something which I don't know. This is as per the doctor. Right? Now you have to find a solution to it. It's a physiological solution or physical solution rather than anything else. So we might add so many flavors to it. How did it happen? Did you add it 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 2 years ago? That doesn't solve the problem. The problem here is that if you don't want excess production of something, you should also have restraint of food. Simple. So in my case, when I started eating only one meal a day and then started eating 2 meals a day, the one meal a day did not produce a condition which to create more semen, whereas the 2 meal a day started to produce more semen. As simple as that. So also to point out is that if the senses are not restrained in terms of eating, not only seeing, it's about eating also, right? So when a food is given, how mindful you are in eating, that's another reason. Meaning, if we eat many different kind of vegetables and fruits and all that, it's good, but also it increases the semen production. So I need to be careful on what all food substances are going to create more production, because there is no need to produce so much. It's got nothing to do with mental. This is the learning what I got on Sunday or Monday. So I need to implement it. Now, the moment I determine that I will do like this, that whole thing dried away. So now this is the second day where things looks much better. You are on mute.
Amazing how fast it works.
Yes. So I was telling my wife, "Yeah, I'll do it." Evening when I came back from the hospital, I just made a determination. This is what I'm going to do. Yes.
So, so you determined to abstain from seeing, from touching, from discussing, as well as from eating less food.
Yes, eating, considering that you have to do the Pachavekana, like what he talks about Pindapata. So if you go and look at some suttas where Buddha says Indriya Guddadvara, that is guarding the sense doors, and then the Bhojane Mattanyutta, that is moderation in eating, and then the sleep, Jagarayanu Yoga. There are a lot of suttas in Anguttara Nikaya. So if you go through that, and especially the section which covers on food, he says that you have to eat food as though, like in the Putta Mamsa Sutta, or in this where he says that na madaya, na madanaya, na vibhushanaya, like that, meaning not for adornment, not for enjoyment, not for this, and just you are eating because you have to maintain your body and also to maintain Brahmacharya. There's a particular word he is used there. That is, Brahmacharya is in two ways. One is that ensuring that there is nothing leaking out while eating, so it doesn't create lustful or uh, hateful thoughts for the food, which then does not produce anything. You're just maintaining the state because it is painful, as two diseases. One is food hunger as a disease, and another disease is thirst. To take care of these two diseases, I'm eating. If I can bring that kind of sati, are beneficial. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what a knowledgeable doctor. Like you wouldn't find a doctor that knows about these problems, I guess, elsewhere.
Yeah, so he, since we opened up the topic on celibacy and all that, so I was telling him that I'm a celibate, and he started laughing. And then that stuck me, that why is he laughing? Then he said, have you read Maithuna? Maithuna is in Pali Methuna, sexual act, right? So if you break any one of them is sufficient for you to increase the semen production. So I came
Amazing.
back home, Ariu, and I looked at it, and out of 8, I am doing 3.
Could you cover the other five just for the completeness of the knowledge?
Yes, so there are 8 of them. Number 1, in this is in Sanskrit, but I can explain to you in English, is Darshana. Is also there in Buddha talking in the Parinibbana Sutta, that don't see. Seeing. Now, what is seeing? Seeing as in the sense of features. The mind associates itself with the features. That means some people like various body parts. of the feminine, and you need to know what body part you are attracted to, and you have to do a sati of not taking it. So that itself becomes a food, right? And then the second one is sparsha, spassa or pottabha rather, which is to touch. So once you see, you touch. Even as a, let's say, as you think she's a daughter, you touch, or a sister, or a wife, or whatever, mother, whatever that terms can be given. But that touch, always when you touch, the body produces semen in a little quantity. Yes.
I thought this touch sense door, if we cut it, then touching them is no different than touching a
But
cucumber.
I'm talking from a physiological perspective. Again, you're missing the point.
Yes, yes, I got that.
So it's not about, see, mentally you might be doing something, right? Mentally you're doing something, but the physical need is still going to be there. Just like hunger is there, right? Whether you are a saint or a sinner, it doesn't matter. Hunger is hunger, thirst is thirst. So this one also comes under hunger. So the moment I touch someone without intention as well, there is an energy flow. So it immediately replenishes it from the food, right? So it is harmful to touch. Yes, go ahead.
I guess this man body and woman body are like batteries, and if you touch, there's automatically, without even, let's say you're sleeping, it may be sufficient for that energy flow to happen.
Right. So when I touch, there is an energy movement. If I'm a gay or whatever, it's a separate issue. Then again, touching a male would have the same problem. But since I am not a gay, and I am, let's say, straight or a bisexual or whatever that can be put into, even if I'm an asexual from the mental perspective, but when I touch someone, that touching itself has a property of movement, right? And then what happens here is that to the level the energy has gone out, the virya, that is the sperm, not the sperm production, the semen production takes place. So when the semen production takes place, it has to throw out somewhere. Can't be keep on producing. So I should stop it at the root. So this is the touching. Then third one is called kirtana. Kirtana means to talk, to discuss, to elaborate, to explain, all of that. So the more the feminine body parts are explained in whatever sense, except for particular manasikara pabba, if it is on any other note, then again the same problem will arise. Then after having done this, there is another one, a fourth one called Keli. Keli means to play around. So generally what happens is when you have a female person sitting, you would try to, I mean, she's whatever she is, you tend, or I tend to play around with her. So I might be touching her hairs or face or whatever, and making her feel enjoyable, or I am also enjoying with her. So this is the fourth one. Then, yes,
I guess if if a dad touches the son, then it's fine. But if it's a daughter, then it's not fine. And same way.
yes, it's not fine.
Hmm.
Not fine.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the complication now. So let's say I pat a girl. Hey, how are you? All good. I don't have any intention, but that's sufficient for it to produce. See, the problem is like this. As long as you use it, there is no problem. But when you stop, abstain from using it, it creates a problem. So you need to eat less. Basically, as we go into the sainthood or being a saint, you need to eat less, you need to see less, you need to speak less, you need to hear less, you need to all of that, talk less, walk less, all of that, because all of these are a domain of Mara. So it's a Mara's bait. And if not done properly, it will show up on the physical body, right? And that is what it is. So we completed four. Then the fifth one is Guhya-Bhasya. Guhya means secret, and Bhasya is to talk. So I pull the girl secretly in the room and I keep on talking, making her feel sensual and all that, right? And she starts to feel it. That's the Guhya-Bhasya. Then the Sankalpa is the sixth one. I determine to enjoy her. Okay, so I would love to enjoy her with with clothes on or not with clothes on. It doesn't matter, but I would love to enjoy her. And the seventh one is Adhyasa. It is that stage when you take a decision to how to enjoy and what organs to enjoy or what portions to enjoy and all of that. So that is when the virya will double its production capacity to keep ready when the things happen. And then the final one is kriya, when you really get into the act. These are the eight ashtamaituna. Okay, so I might not be doing the five of them, but I'm definitely doing the three of them. Yes, Arif.
Yeah, so it's exactly in the order of intensity of the energy production.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so if you can refrain from even seeing, then
The remaining will go away.
yeah.
That's the best thing that could happen, right? That's what it is. Adhyavasaya. That is when I have, let's say, a deep dive into this sexual act, meaning when the uh, when the respective body parts are ready, is in a readiness state because the sankalpa has already been made, and guhya bhasya, that is the secretly have spoken, and she is interested, she wants to make it. In fact, it's there in what is that, in vinaya, a huge one. So there is a bhikkhu called Udai. It's on him. Many of them are on him. The Udai, he helps a lay woman to many ways, and he keeps on saying that, sir, you're so good, you're done this to me, this that to me, and all that. And then she asks him, what is a better gift for you? If you can tell me that, I would be more than happy. And he says, sister, what is a better gift than offering yourself? If you can offer yourself to me, I think that is the best gift. No other gift can surpass that. And she thinks over and she feels that, yeah, okay, he likes it, so why don't I then do it? And then she calls him home, ornaments herself, undresses, and this Dai then does what he shouldn't be doing and confesses to Buddha. And Buddha makes a huge list of what need not be done, what should not be done. There in the Vinaya. So while this doctor was talking to me, I was reflecting on that. Yes, are you?
I mean, this Uday would be expelled just after this one offense, right? Why would he be in many Vinayas? Because that's the only one that's required.
No, there are a lot of. He has a great knowledge. So Buddha keeps on warning him till he rectifies himself. In fact, it's
Yeah.
there in Vinaya. If you really want to go through it, there's a huge list.
Yeah, I went through the Vinaya. The first section is, of course, having sex, right? And then go to the next is the first worthy of probation. I think it's masturbation. It's the first one. So even that, like that's suspension, but anything higher is definitely expulsion, right?
Whatever it is, but it is there. You can, whether he was not expelled or whatever, doesn't make any difference to us. But we can see how the last one, that kriya thing, will happen. Nivritti is to do it. So kriya nivritti is the stage when the person asks, let's say I'm a monk as an example, and then I'm giving so much of dhamma to everyone, and then a female, let's say a person who is listening or is at my home, and she feels very happy, and she says, Bhante, you have done so much to me, what else can I do for you? And since I have Darshana, Sparsha, Kirtana, Keli, Guhya-Bhashana, Sankalpa, Adhyavasaya, and Kriya Nivritti ready, so I would ask her to present herself. And that is when the semen production completely is ready. So if I don't see, if I do the restraint of seeing, then these seven ones will not be there. Got it? Yeah, go ahead. Other two are silent.
Yeah, feel free to talk. I just have some questions.
Yeah.
I guess even for anagami, it could be like this. But let's say for normal people, like that's the anagami, then if we can restrain from seeing the features at all, then it would greatly reduce the hindrance of kamachanda. Because if there's no semen, then a lot of the desire doesn't arise. I
Exactly.
think there's a
See,
relationship
this
there.
problem will come when you abstain from sexual intercourse. This problem will not come for people who are into intercourse or who are doing whatever they are doing. But let's say you completely abandon, right? And then what happens is that the storage is there and it cannot store beyond a capacity. And that's the problem. So you have to lower the production capacity. And the production capacity will be lowered only through food, mental food, physical food. Yes.
I, I'm just thinking in terms of the third one, discussion, talking about it. I feel like you never really talk about these, women in outside of the Dhamma kind of context. But
I,
even
I, I
within that,
do. I don't do like that. I agree with you, but it is in a way interfering. I don't have to keep on talking about it, right?
yes, 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 definitely, definitely.
And I keep,
Because you have to bring the mental image in a way it's kind of seen.
yes. So I don't have to be always talking about it. The moment I'm always talking about it, it means that it is creating something there. So I promise myself that I'm not going to do these three things. And the moment I said that, Ariu, I did that at 9 p.m. and from 9:30 p.m. onwards, it's just stopped.
And before you did it, it's a continuous process.
Which one?
before you set the intention, this thing is continuous. So you can exactly observe it stopping. Or not
Yes,
like once a day.
absolutely. When I went to the doctor also, he was checking right that day when you had come. I went inside when you were sitting, and then I went inside. This guy were checking. It was leaking crazily, right? And then they thought that something has happened, so they gave so many tests, and then we couldn't do it on Saturday while you were here. So when we dropped you back to the airport, and then when we came to that diagnostic center again, and when the test was given, there again it was happening. And then on Monday when I met him, it was still coming, and Monday night it stopped. That's so nice.
Yeah, you should go back to the doctor again, show him.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
going to do that. He has asked me to come after 10 days, so once this is completely cured, I have to go and show him. So
mm,
now it is very less. It's just not like what it used to be, and it's very nice. It is cured, almost cured, like I could say.
do you think the medicine has also helped, or do you think the determination is
It
by
is
far
both.
the
I can't only say that my determination is because before taking the tablet, I had determined, but I think so after taking the medicine, it should have helped. The medicine also helps. It's not that only my determination is going to help, but it's a good thing that I'm able to determine and the medicine is working and both are coming together. I cannot really say that it's only because of my determination it has stopped. No, that will be too much.
Yeah, I feel like it sometimes happen like this. Like you really want something to happen, then you start doing many things that helps, and then it stopped. And at which point you cannot exactly distinguish which factor is the deciding.
Whatever it is, that doctor opened up my eyes in looking at these eight characteristics of a celibate or a brahmacharya or a brahmacharya, a person who is following brahmacharya, celibate. So he opened up my eyes saying that you have not seen it, you are just seeing only one part of it, which is correct. So when I came back, I did this and then it worked, but the medicine is also working. Yeah, so the food control is all the four types of food. It is actually physical food also has to be in control, because if I eat too many spicy things or too many fat things and all that, that is this semen. So cutting it off or reducing the intake is a good thing to do. It's only about hunger. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is a great thing because it should help you getting to higher level.
Yes, so I was thinking it is a blessing in disguise. So whatever this problem has come is a blessing in disguise. That if this had not happened, I won't have achieved even more higher than where I am. So this has happened. It's very good. Now I can meditate even far better. Now my sense control is even far better than what it used to be.
Oh, you can already distinguish the meditation becoming better.
Yes, yes, absolutely. From yesterday, I'm able to see that it's greatly improved.
Oh wow, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, I really have to thank that doctor who
Yes,
who
yes.
just this is where I say that you require someone to just put you in the right, tell you the right thing. I don't think so. You are like this. It really shook me off, and I was so happy when I was explaining to him. I do meditation, this, that, and then I'm into spiritual. He said, "What spiritual? What are you talking?" So that was like a water thrown on my face, right? What the heck are you talking? Then he said, "You ask your son; he will tell you there is a Maithuna. Have you read it or not?" And it was I didn't know what is he talking about. Then my son said, he asked my son, "Don't you know it?" He said, "No, I don't know." Then he said, "You read it is there in the book." Go home and read it and tell your father. And before we even came home, he was searching on the net and he found it. And then he said that these are the 8 things. Then I came back home, I searched, was reading through it, and I was reflecting what is that I'm doing, which is creating so much of semen production. I found these 3 things I'm doing. So I told my wife, these are 3 things I'm doing, and that is the cause of this. Let me determine right now. Yes, go ahead. You had again a question.
And no, 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 I was just thinking this doctor did not need to see what you're doing in meditation and all that. He just tell from the symptom that you're not following it.
Exactly. So he said, you're leaking like this means you are already out, meaning your Brahmacharya is not there. What are you talking? It's quite obvious, right? See, he shouldn't leak. So if there's a leakage, it's a leakage. That means something is not working. Either the food is not working with you. That means I'm eating those food which are not conducive for meditation, right? Or my actions are such a way that which is not really helping there, or my speech is such a way that it is not helping, or my looks are not really helping, or the touch is not helping, or something is broken, right? Otherwise, why so much of semen production has to happen? So this is the cause, and this is the effect. So I felt very happy. I was very happy with that doctor. Wow, what a nice guy. It doesn't matter he read the entire Dhamma or Tipitaka or this or that. When you are supposed to slap a person, you are slapped at the right time, and that is what is required.
Yeah, you should bring him some kind of thank
I'm going to
you.
gift him. I'm going to gift him
Okay.
something. Yes, I have
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
about it. I'm going to gift him that for bringing senses to me. I told my wife also that he has to be gifted. He has to be appropriately gifted and also revered. He might not know what he has done for me, but that's okay. He is a normal doctor, so he just was laughing and telling me. But the impact it had was good. So he became my teacher, that he could show me what was wrong. Otherwise, if you see my report, Aryu, there is not even a single mistake in that report. Meaning anybody reading it wouldn't even understand why this is happening. So it's more of a spiritual disease than a physical disease. So these are the 8: Darshan, Sparsha, Kirtan, Keli, Guhya-Bhashan, Sankalpa, Adhyabhasaya, and Kriya Nivritti. Yes, Ashutosh.
Sir, in case if you become Buddha, you have crossed the path. You should still follow these teachings like Astamethun. In the case of Buddha, he also
Anyone
follow
would be
this.
doing that, because now what is going to happen? Any Buddha, Sama, Sambuddha, that won't be there. In Arhat also, it will not be there. So they don't have to necessarily follow that.
Okay, up to the Anagami level, we have to follow
Yes,
the Astamethun.
up to and being an anagami, I need to follow.
If you can put all the 8 in the video description and with the link and everything, it can help the readers.
Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to publish this video. So today my thinking was how to do the sense restraint. That was the topic I wanted to cover. Anyway, we covered on most of it. So the first one is that we need to see what are we eating. It's only for controlling the hunger and thirst. So can I do that sati? That becomes a sati sampajanya. And I'm seeing because there are eyes, not because I'm seeing something. There are ears, there are Because there is a sound, the ear is there. Because of the body, the feeling of touch is there. And because of the nose, the smell, ability to smell is there. And because of the tongue, the ability to taste is there. But neither I am seeing, I myself is not seeing, I myself is not hearing, I myself is not tasting and touching and smelling and thinking. So these separate organs which can get this information. Yes, yes, Ashutosh.
Sir, sir, I guess this is the reason why Buddha said you should not listen to music or watch any movies like this because it is going to erode sexual thoughts in you. That's why the music and watching movies are not allowed in Buddhism.
Yes, absolutely. Because it produces the virya which has happened with me.
In Islam, sir, in Islam also they have said that in the rich in the Islam, the religion Islam, they have also not allowed watching movies and listening to uh, music. I think that's the reason, I guess.
Correct. What happens here is that, yes, Arif.
No, no.
Even
I'm just
sir,
thinking. Yeah, go ahead, Ashutosh.
even if you watch the painting of a woman, still like you should not watch the painting of a woman.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, Arif.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that the music, like the reason you listen is because the ear want to enjoy, right? Let's say even if you're anagami where there's no sense desire, even if you watch like listen to like male singing or whatever, it may not cause the exact problem Vilas was having, but like normal people, if they listen to music, they want to enjoy, right? The sense want to go out. So that's, I guess that's a problem
No,
before anagami.
I'll tell you one thing, Arif. What you're saying is right, but then if you really look from a very holistic point of view, sight, sound, taste, the smell, and thought, six of them will indirectly, not directly, will indirectly push like food. Okay. Now the body has no knowledge of what to produce. It's the hunger for that which produces the necessary quantity for enjoying or sustaining or whatever it is. If my intention is not to enjoy, I know I shouldn't be producing it in the first place. For not to produce in the first place, I need to have the restraint for it, right? So eyes are there for seeing, just to see than to enjoy what I'm seeing, like that. So I should consider it as Mara. As there is one sutta where Buddha talks about you have to consider eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind as Mara. There's one person he asked, one bhikkhu, I've been listening about Mara, Mara, Mara. I want to know what is Mara. So then he says the feeling is Mara, the perception is Mara, the Vijnana itself is Mara. So everything that you cognize, everything that you feel, and everything that you perceive, and every object which is coming onto you is a Mara. So then the Vijnana not going out. It will be restrained. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering from the anagami point of view, there's no kama chanda.
There's
So
only
when
no kama chanda, but the raga. See, the problem is like this. We need to understand two perspectives. One is a mental perspective, one is on the physical perspective. If you don't want a physical ailment, right? This is an ailment, it's a disease. If you don't want the physical ailment, then you have to do something about it, right? So then, yes, go ahead.
I guess what I'm thinking is that when you listen to music, like normal people, not anagami for sure, they'll be enjoying, right? Because there's sukhavedan, but and all that, the somanasa and all that. But for anagami, when you listen to a music, supposedly you will not have somanasa and sukhaveda because
You
the
will,
sound is.
no. I think you have to thoroughly misunderstood. There is no chanda. Chanda is the interest. Kama is enjoyment. You don't have interest in enjoying it. That doesn't mean that the body or whatever the psychosomatic thing is not there, right?
Oh.
Right? It's a food. See, it's like this. Let's say we play a country music. How much sati you have, that much there will not be produced. But after a while, the sati is gone. So it's all about sati.
The Anagami should have perfectly guarded the sense door regarding the. No.
Now that he has guarded the sense door to what extent? He has guarded the sense door only till the Kamachanda and Vyapada. But what about the Ruparaga, Aruparaga and all that?
But those are not. Music is not that, right?
I got it, but still there is so there's a tinge of it, if not a real gross expression of it, right? So now what happens is that it depends on the body. One body might not produce, another body will produce. So the question now is that if I am not restraining it, considering my body type, it's going to become an obstacle on the path. I'm not
So,
trying to say that all those people who are celibate will get this problem. That will be foolishness. But at the same time, if I'm not mindful, it will create problem. So let's not go into each one of these and say that okay, will anagami get this with that will get that. That is not the right to see. That is not the right way to see. What we need to see is that am I giving food or not? The more the food, the worse it gets. So all of this sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts are food. They can be termed as mental food, but they then produce enough ingredients for the physical, and then it can create a variation in physics. Yes.
yeah, I guess just one last question. I guess for Arhat, there's no food, right? No matter what they see, there's no food.
Arhat is out of sec, right? They are no
Okay,
longer in training. See, this
okay.
problem is for a trainee. Sotapanna, Sakdagami, Anagami are trainees. So the mistakes are bound to happen. And that's the reason uh, Buddha has specifically put Anagami into sek. He has not made him as a separate thing, right? That means in a training, you are bound to do certain mistakes. So Anagami is not a special person, to be honest. He's another trainee, a better trainee, I could say. But he's still a trainee. So from that time when we have met in the car also, I'm telling that you don't have to have a special thing for an Anagami. Yes, you should have a special thing for an Arhat because he's crossed. He's completed the journey. But as far as an Anagami goes, I don't think so he is anything special because he's still a trainee. So when somebody is a trainee, there is always a chance of error. Like in my case, this physical problem wouldn't have come if I was mindful. So whether I did it on purpose, I didn't did it on purpose, it doesn't matter. Like there were a lot of people who used to come for depression of other things, and then I'm hearing to them they are talking so many things about their personal life, etc., etc. Those things are also food. No matter how much I try to cleanse it up, it has an impact. So the better way I need to do forward is not to indulge in any one of those. That's what I meant. All these are food. In the last 3 years, that is before COVID, the 2019, and during COVID, 2020, 21, 22, there's so many interactions with so many ladies and so many girls who have been very, they're sharing their problems, they're talking about their personal stuff and all that. So that affects on this body, and that's exactly what has happened.
Yeah, no, it's so subtle. No wonder the Buddha said with the women, the sangha is gonna be much reduced in time.
Absolutely. See now, if I reflect upon the doctor who said, if I reflect upon that during the COVID times or when there was no lockdown or anything like that, There are a lot of people who were depressed and they used to come to my home, or we were on the video call or whatever it is, and they used to share. And when they used to come, I used to pacify them physically. So I don't know how much of the energy has gone. And since there is no other activity which will basically relieve it, it is causing a different problem. So the question comes, why should you produce it in the first place? Everything is the same. So if I take the physical food, should you eat so much? It means you have to produce so much to eat. And when I eat, it's going to cause two kinds of issues. One, let's say a normal person will get into lustful thoughts because of that food. Even if the person is an anagami, let's say, there's no lustful thought in the mind, but the body is taking so much of fat. So what it should do with that? It's going to throw it out in some way. So I need to be careful. Yes.
Does that mean you would refrain from enjoying like coffees and teas and all that things, right? Eventually. I
No,
mean,
in a sense that I have to reduce the coffee and tea because those things are not good ones. That I need to do. You're right on it. Then eating fatty substances, I need to reduce a lot. And anyway, I'm not eating in the night, but I will see whether I can reduce the morning food or afternoon food or something like that, and eat only bland food so that it doesn't create these kind of yes. So basically, I need to come up with a strategy. Just like I got this now I have to work for that physical. Yeah, you're right. I need to do that. But it's a very good learning. I mean, hadn't this happened, I wouldn't have learned it. Now I have learned this thing also, these 8 things also.
it seems like could be a major hindrance that's removed.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm feeling now. I'm feeling so glad. For the last 2 days, it's really good. I mean, today is Wednesday. So yesterday was a real relief, as though heaviness is gone. So
Not just from the physical symptom being gone, but more of a mental
yes,
determination. Change
yes,
your perspective.
yes, absolutely. See, the
So
thing
like
is,
you have a new shield, like a new armor.
yes,
Yeah.
new armor. See, now I've been reflecting. If the seeing of the female of any part were to be there, it creates a food. There's a food, right? It's a very subtle food. But it's still a food. When I touch, hold her, even as whatever it is, then there is again production of the food. And when I speak about it, even a little or whatever, there's again a food. 3 foods, and the fourth food is playing around. Again, is an exhausting thing just to play around. So again, the food. Then talking to her in a very secretive way and all that is again a food. Okay, 5. And then determining that when she will be mine or whatever, or when we get an opportunity is again a food. 6. Okay, then the strong desire to enjoy a particular part of the body or all the part of the body is 7th food, and getting into the act itself is 8th food. Hmm.
Yeah, I was just thinking, reflecting on our trip. Like I feel like the talking and touching is two things that I've noticed, which I was slightly hesitant about. Like I feel like, so I guess in a way there's intuition there.
Right. So these things will affect. It's a food. Maybe mentally you don't have anything, absolutely absolved from mentality perspective. But physicality is there. As long as the physicality is there, the physiological need would arise. That's the reason they refrain from touching the opposite sex so that the energy doesn't go out. Good one. So, this is what I wanted to discuss on a practical view of the problem. And so nice a doctor to put me onto the right thing. You might have known it. The best way would be to sit outside the body with astral travel, meditate, the body breaks. But that's again a raga, sarupa raga. Anyway, so the sense restraint at present for all of us, if we were to take it, then we have to, like what we discussed yesterday. First thing I need to see as what is the thing which is moving the mind into something. So, first thing is the taste, or first thing is the touch, first thing is the smell, first thing is the thought, first thing is the sight, first thing is the sound. Whichever that is, I need to really see that. What's the first thing? Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking for like us in general, right? We're not tend to think about, uh, yeah, yeah. I guess we don't tend to think about women, let's say, because that's thoughts you would catch early, and you don't tend to indulge, or even taste or smell or touch. Usually, it's not there. But I think hearing is a common theme that can come up, because even when there are women talking, there tends to be, the ear tend to be sharp and then listen
That's
to the
exactly
teacher.
what is there in one of the sutta, that he says that even when women speaks, the man, the bhikkhu's ear goes there because he's eating that. See, you see, this all is eating only. In a way, it is eating. So what happened? What I really understood, Ariyu, is that even if the mind doesn't really participate, that interest itself will produce enough food, a little bit food, not to an extent what is required, but accumulation of that food is what causes the problem.
Right. Yeah, for us who Kamachanda is still up there, then listening definitely can become a big trigger. So we should refrain from listening, or at least practice something like restraint whenever
So
there's a
what we do tomorrow is that when we meet same time, or when we meet tonight, which is tomorrow morning for you, tonight when we meet, we will meditate. We will do the meditation on sense restraint. That would be a good thing to do. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm practicing now. So I can tell you what I do, and we all do together. That is tomorrow morning for you. If you're joining at 8 a.m. your time, then we'll do it. Yes, Ashutosh.
Sir, if we try to understand the Rupa element, the Nama and Rupa, and if we take the Rupa aspects, and if we try to understand what is Rupa, so there are two qualities. First, the primary qualities and the secondary qualities. And primary quality consists of 4 elements, and secondary quality consists of 24 elements like sound, smell, everything. So in 24, one of them is that we need to understand what makes our body male. One quality, the one aspects of 24. So that's why when we hear the sound of a female, we have this kind of attraction, because we inside our body there's a one element which makes us male. So it that element is like getting attracted towards the female characteristics, I
Correct,
guess.
correct, correct. Yes, so we can do that tonight when we meet, or tomorrow morning his time. So, Ashutosh, do you know all those 24?
I know, but I have read it, but I'm not do not remember right now.
Okay,
I know
you
I have
can
read it.
do one thing in the evening when we meet, you bring that up.
Okay,
You
I
can
will tell
say
you.
all the 24, then I will elaborate.
Okay. Or I can message you on your WhatsApp
That
the
you do the 24, and then I'll take it up.
okay.
Okay, so let's end for this morning or evening and practice, and the evening we again meet up with the sense restraint. Okay, all right. Good night and good day to everyone.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, bye bye.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, thank
bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
See you in the evening.
Yeah, sure. Bye.